What's up, Janelle?
Hey, Bronzy.
How's it going?
It's going.
Is it
How's
just
it going?
going?
Yeah, it's just going. It's just
It's
going. How about on your end?
it's Black History Month.
It is.
We
I
get
mean,
an
you
extra
wouldn't.
day this year.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
our anniversary month.
it is. It is. We spoke about that, I think, a little bit on the last episode, maybe
Yeah, I think we mentioned it.
a little.
So
Yeah.
those are positives. Um,
Okay. Okay. Look at
and
you looking at the glass half full. Okay.
I try. Sometimes that is the fuel that we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, it's going on this front as well. It's been a turbulent couple of weeks. It's just been busy, and I don't
Yeah.
know if that doesn't necessarily mean bad. It's been busy, and
Yeah.
it's been hard. Yeah, sometimes being busy and like having deadlines and trying to push through stuff and not having figure things out. It is stress inducing.
hmm
Um, so yeah,
I even think
it's been turbulent.
Yeah, I even think like when it comes to balancing work with like your social life and all this kind of stuff, like I think back on the past couple of weeks and I'm like, yeah, I've been real busy too, but like not all of it was work busy, but it didn't feel
Yeah,
any less
yeah, yeah. That's
stressful,
true.
if that
That's true.
makes
That's
sense.
true. Yeah, and now they this whole talk around there's this blend between work and life, and there's not really any distinction or separation between the two. It's like you're doing personal things during work hours now, and sometimes you're doing
hmm
work things during personal hours. And I'm like, who came
You
up with
know,
this? Where happened to the days when it was work, and then beyond that it was no longer.
I'll tell you what happened. COVID happened, and we started
Okay.
working from home and home and from work, and all that kind of stuff. Which is why like as much as I hate to admit it, and like I understand that I'm about to like say this on record, I
hmm
don't hate going into the office a couple days a week, a couple hours of the day. You know what I mean? Because it
Yeah.
does create that separation or that distinction. Now, do I bring on those days work home sometimes? Sure, but I think it makes it a little bit easier for me to kind of like compartmentalize and have some sense of boundaries.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Uh, it just feels like the days of the 40-hour work week are gone.
Oh no, that's been done.
I'll be like, what happened? But maybe it's also the field and industry we're in,
Yeah.
um, where that's just not as possible as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't think I was working a 40-hour work week before COVID, though,
Well, yeah, I think
either.
it's also very different for you being on the agency side.
It's
Like
true.
that's
I was like,
that's a different conversation and a different vantage point. So,
yeah, very
but
fair.
yeah, lots of things happened over the last couple of weeks since the last time we sat down and talked. Are you ready to dive in to Above the Fold?
Let's do it.
All right, so I know we're like by the time this comes out, about 2 weeks removed, but we have to talk about something around there, the Super Bowl and all the happenings and
Of
all the
course.
not happenings that
All the
took
black
place.
happenings, at least. The other
All the
stuff.
black happenings. Was it a lot of black happenings? I felt like from the spot
Um,
standpoint.
well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, got
That's
you, got you,
you
got
see
you.
what's on this list.
Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, so I think we would be remiss not to start this conversation with the man himself, Usher Raymond.
Yes, Usher. Basically, I mean, you know, besides
Do
the
you
football that was happening, right? And both of us are football fans. Neither one of our teams were in the game.
right?
I didn't really have, like this one was a little challenging for me because I don't know anything about the Niners, and then what I do know about the Chiefs makes me want to root against them. So I
Right.
was just like, I'm just here for a halftime, and I guess I want Mahomes to win again because
mm,
technically, yeah, it's Black History Month, and like technically, it was hard. It was rough.
Yeah,
It was
there was
rough.
no technicality for me wanting him to win. I'm just a Mahomes hater. Like, I can't deny
Okay.
his skill
Okay.
set and how amazing he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally, and I have no problem admitting, it's me hating. I think it's the same effect that I had with Tom Brady. Also had it with, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But I never denied his skill set, his ability, his mentality, all those things. I was just a hater
Right.
because my team couldn't beat him. So I
Yeah,
think it's a little bit
your
of that.
team, but I mean, okay, so this is something that I do, and I know like everybody in my family does it too. It's just like I'm always gonna root for the team that has a black quarterback, and if there is no black quarterback, that has a black coach, and then if you don't have a black
That
coach,
makes
and you're not the Dolphins, then like
it don't matter.
it
Like
really
at that
don't
point,
matter.
it is what it is. What it. Yeah, I get that too. But for this one, like because the Eagles is my team and they beat us in the Super Bowl, and then yeah, it just became like I don't want him to win again. So, but outside of that, it was a Usher concert in the middle of a football game for me,
Yeah,
and there was lots of anticipation for this concert, and it was amazing. He delivered in every way that was possible. His mic was on. He was dancing his ass off. The characters, the design, the hits, the catalog,
the catalog, okay, and I
the
was a little nervous.
transitions, the fashions,
The fashions, I
and
was a
then
little
also
nervous.
bringing the Vegas element into it as well. It was just perfect. It could not have been any better for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like from the moment that it was announced that he was going to be the halftime performer, it just made so much sense being in Vegas and all of the notoriety and press and stuff that he had got from his Vegas residency. Still
Yeah.
sad that I didn't make that. That's biggest regret of 2023 for sure. But I think it was a lot of things like leading up to the moment. For one, what is this? The second or third year that the halftime show is sponsored by Apple versus what it used to be sponsored by Pepsi.
Pepsi. Hmm.
And I think from a music standpoint and an entertainment standpoint, it makes so much sense. And like what Apple is able to do in that lane from the
Yeah.
rollout, the lead up to, to promotion for the artists and all of that kind of stuff. It's the past the past couple of halftime shows that were sponsored by Apple, I think have gotten the most bang for their buck. No pun intended, because
Yeah.
they don't get paid, right? There is no buck. But I think have gotten the most out of this opportunity. So
Yeah.
did you see the spots that Apple Music put out ahead of this, like the lead up when they were like, oh, where is Usher?
Yes, I did see that. I was a little confused by that though.
I was too. And now, so I'll say this. I loved this, not the sentiment. What do I want to say? That they did something, that they did some
Okay.
kind of rollout. And I wasn't even mad at the premise of like, where is Usher? Because I thought they could have done some cool stuff with that kind of alluded to who was going to be performing with him or what songs were going to be performed. Everybody was debating like what's going to be the set list. But when the story actually played out, I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. I'm like, Blue Man Group, Chris Angel, he's in a fountain singing to the girl. Like, I don't get how
Yeah.
what we were supposed to get from him.
That part did fall flat because even still, I'm left like, where's the connecting? Where did we find? Like, we found him, but I don't know. It just didn't.
Yeah.
And then he was also in the. I mean, this is separate, but BMW also did a spot with him, where they were just promoting that brand, and they were in the restaurant, and
That's the one
know,
with
the
like
guy had to
Christopher Walken's in it. Right?
he,
No?
it was like, don't you have somewhere to be? And then he got up and was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was Christopher Walken's, wasn't it?
Oh, that was him. Oh, I don't know.
The whole commercial followed Christopher Walken's up until that point. No? We talking about the same commercial?
Is it a BMW commercial?
Yeah.
Christopher Walken's?
I
Yes,
think
yes,
that's his
yes,
name,
yes.
right? Angelina Jolie's daddy?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
we're good.
Like, I know I'm not good on my white people, but I think I know that one.
I know a couple, and I think that's one. Okay, cool. And then also the performance itself, he also brought Atlanta to the Super Bowl. It
Yes,
was
he
a
did.
very much a cultural moment for Atlanta.
Yeah. I was just happy that he did Superstar because I got into so many arguments in the week leading up, including with my mother, who swore up and down, ain't no way
That
he's
he was
doing
gonna do
super.
Superstar.
Yeah, she was like, he's
That's
doing
one of
this is
his
the Super.
biggest.
That's what I tried to tell her. I'm like, that's one of his biggest songs. She's like, this is the Super Bowl, and what, like you got to do the upbeat, da, 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 da. And I'm like, then don't get
No, like
Usher.
yeah, he did a phenomenal job of putting in like his slower tempo songs, even if they were like just the transition moments to go into
Exactly.
something else. And then having her be a part of that, and like
Yeah.
she was the element of, Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
When he did My Way, like it just also
Mm-hmm.
reminded you of his catalog, and like these songs still stand today
They do.
on their own. Like these records are, and then he did like he went to Confessions.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I will say, you earlier when you were setting this up, you talked about the mic being on, and you know where I'm headed. You know where I'm headed. Tell Hamadi to plug his ears right now, because his mic was not the only mic that was on. Unfortunately,
Janelle, I
I'm just saying. What did I say in the chat beforehand? I said he better leave her home, and they better leave that damn piano at home too. And sure enough, she pulled up with the piano, singing a song that wasn't even an Usher song. How you gonna crack on the first note? And this ain't even the big song you came here to sing, sis. She looked good though. She looked good.
she looked good,
She
and
looked real
the
good.
piano was amazing as well.
It was, but I was just, and they spent a lot of time doing that and My Boo, and I'm like, we could have got a little bit more of this song, a little bit more of that song. It just kind of like threw the pace off a little bit for me,
I mean,
just a little bit, just a little bit.
okay.
And
What do I want to say?
when
I
he
want to
did
say
that,
something.
I think he did that with Lil Jon too. Like when they did Turn Down for What, I'm like, it threw it off just a little bit. I liked how
Yeah.
he introed Ludacris. When Ludacris came in, he was performing his verse from Yeah, but they put a little bit of I think they like switched up the beat a little bit to like one of his other hits. So you
Yeah.
got like a little bit of just him in there too. I think they could have done something like that with some of those transitions. And then well, yeah, go. What were you gonna say? Because there's one other person I need to make a comment about.
Who is it? You're on a roll. Continue.
JD, Jermaine Dupri, sir.
What's your comment about him?
What was he wearing?
Oh my God.
Well, no, I know what he was wearing, but was that
That
a
was the
really was that a
LV.
good endorsement? That was a horrible endorsement for the brand. He looked nuts.
Well, listen, maybe he was trying to make a statement. What is that statement? I don't know. But
If I'm Pharrell, you can't make a statement with my clothes. Not
Well,
that
here's the thing.
statement.
Here's the thing. It got the streets talking.
Saying what though?
Somebody's gonna go buy those church adorned girl socks.
People
don't
were like,
know.
"Is that CeeLo?" He
Okay,
looked
back to Alicia
insane.
Keys, please.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so the only thing that I'll say is I think we all collectively had like a collective cultural side because we wanted her to just like, okay, cool, great. Like it's fine. It was fine. But I think there was a collective sigh when that first note came out. And for me, it was just like,
No, for me too.
But Hamadi had made a great point. He was
You
like,
don't have to be
you know-
a musician to hear that was the wrong note. Let me just say. But go ahead.
I don't know.
What was
And then
Amadi's
did you
point?
see he said, well, she just got off tour.
Cop and please. Of course he was.
I mean, he's trying to find the benefit of doubt for her. That's his girl. And I
know.
understand. But I said, well, she had to sing for 15 seconds. Getting off tour, you could have rested your voice for 3 days for this moment. But I don't know. I don't understand it.
Question for you.
I've also
because
never performed in front of 300,000 or a billion people
True.
worldwide either. So
True. But a lot of other people have done it too, and their voice didn't crack. But whatever. Question for you though, because I'm trying to figure out like when did it go astray? Like what? Like when did she lose it? Is it that she tries to sing outside of her range?
yeah, and she still sings the same songs. Like I feel like before when she recorded these songs, she probably had a broader range, or at least her voice could live up there a little longer. Whereas now, that's just not her vocal range anymore. Well, seemingly to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And she continues to want to sing up there. I feel like if she brought the key down and still did the same songs, like it would be fine.
Yeah, and I'm like, when they got to My Boo, like, okay, I get it. He's not going to come to the Super Bowl and not sing My Boo. That was one of his biggest hits. She was on the track. It was a great song. I noticed when they got to My Boo, though, she was singing like in a lower register. It sounded fine. It sounded great. But it was like anytime I see her perform anywhere else, she wants to go up here and the voice just don't reach.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And I don't know why she doesn't recognize that. And to be a musician, like, I mean, I think she's a great musician. I think she's a great artist. I think she's a great composer. Like I said, I think Alicia Keys is a musical genius. I just don't understand the disconnect of when she goes to sing, why she wants to put everything in a high alto when she's not.
Yeah.
At least not for a long period of time. But
Right.
listen,
Enough on her. Enough on Alicia Keys, I guess.
that's on her. Have you listened to Usher's album?
I have not yet. I have not listened to it, but I also have not heard great things. Is that fair?
Okay.
No?
No, it's not fair.
Okay.
And this is my issue with the critics. Everybody wants to be a critic and wants to find a hole in somebody's. It's fine. I listened to it. I enjoyed it. Is it my favorite Usher album? No. Are there bops on there that I'm like, oh, I like this? Absolutely. Are there some songs that I'm like, oh, I could have did without? But as a complete body of work, I can put it on and enjoy it for what has been delivered and presented. So for that, I enjoy it.
Okay, so then question, because he also announced that he's going on tour, and I'm assuming the tour is, well, it's probably going to be a lot of the, I think it's called like past, present, and future, whatever. It's going to be a lot of his old stuff. It is in support or promotion of the new album, and them tickets cost a lot of money. My thing is, I'm on the fence because, again, I'm sad that I missed the Vegas residency, which probably was the show that I needed to see. I don't care how good the new songs are. I don't want to see that on tour.
Well, like you said, you're going to get a mix, and I think he understands that. That with his stardom and his star power and his catalog, anybody that comes to see him, they're not just going to want to hear this new music. We gonna want to hear what you did at the Super Bowl. We gonna want to hear what you did.
But I need the song to be
Vegas.
longer than what you did at the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear.
Well, he's
little
gonna have
5
more than 15
seconds.
minutes
then-
on tour.
He does a little 15
So I
minutes of
think-
the old shit and then on to the new album. I'll be pissed. I'd be really upset.
Well, I mean, I'm going to the tour. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'll let you know if I go before you.
Okay, well then, yeah, that'll determine whether I. Well, no,
But how
is
can you say
Miami
you feel like
before
you
DC? Because if
don't
I
think
go,
so.
I'm going to Miami.
But how do you say you wish you saw him at the residency, but you're unsure about tour?
Because the tour is going to be, at least part of the time, is going to be devoted to the new album.
But you don't even know what the new album sounds like.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that, everybody ain't cranking it out their car and I haven't heard it yet, just in passing and all that kind of stuff leads me, and I've heard mixed reviews, leads me to believe that it ain't really hitting for much. Is what, Good? Is that even on there? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that was probably the lead single. Have you heard Ruin?
No. That's a single?
Yeah.
No. Also, he had that song
It,
Glue. I heard Glue's not on there, but I didn't really like that song to begin with.
I don't know, Glue.
Yeah,
Well,
I
hey,
don't know.
give it a listen, give it a spin, put it on as background music or
Will
not.
do. I will. No, I will.
I mean, don't you listen to like Spotify playlists? They should at least have something going. Anyway, it's good. Take a listen. Let's revisit this conversation next episode. I want to know like how you feel about it.
Okay, that's fair.
It's R&B. Um, we have to talk about the Queen.
We talk about. I mean, we should just have like a segment on this podcast because we literally talk about the Queen every episode, and I'm not mad at it.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't we have a segment dedicated to the Queen? I mean, she continues to fuel and feed and give us things to talk about, give us things to dive into and to study. She is
Study.
her team, however you want to position it, her empire. They're marketing and rollout geniuses. And I don't want to hear a hot take today, Janelle.
I don't have a hot take. I mean, we've said that before on the podcast. She
Okay,
is.
cool. I just want to make sure that we're setting the stage for the conversation that is about to commence.
Okay.
And she has shown us this time and time and time and time again. And it's just amazing that she continues to give us Easter eggs. And you don't know it's an Easter egg until after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we saw a spot Verizon ad.
Mm-hmm.
Even before leading up to the Super Bowl.
They definitely were teasing.
Teases, you know, the guy squeezing the lemons, saying like, hold up, she wants me to squeeze all of these by myself. And then also the green screen with Beyonce's horse saying like, should we go to the Super Bowl, yay or nay?
Yeah, sorry.
We're like, what is this? Stop? This is clearly...
Can you get down?
He said, I got something to say too. We talking about the Queen.
Like he is scratching the
this is
shit
clearly,
out of my arm.
Clearly Beyonce endorsed or something's coming.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it just caused a lot of like, oh, what is this? Because we also saw some spots on social where Verizon was at the Sphere in Vegas, like talking about a partnership. So it's like, okay, is she announcing like a residency? What is it?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I did too. And then we get the spot.
Yeah.
What was this, during the third quarter?
It was either.
It was definitely after Usher.
Yeah,
performed.
yeah, it was. It was like early third quarter.
Yeah.
And
was it two-part? Am I missing that?
No, I don't think so.
It was two-part because the first part was just her going like through, like, can Beyonce break Verizon, right? Because Beyonce can break the internet, so can she break 5G or Verizon or whatever? So, Hamadi said the first one was right after the halftime, and it was like, you think that was something?
Of
wait
the
till
ad.
you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tease of the ad came.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so it's essentially it was like all of these things to see can Beyonce break Verizon, and ultimately at the end of it, it was like, okay, they ready, drop the new music.
Yes. And then nothing happened, right? So that's everybody was scrambling, right? Everybody goes like waiting for she said drop the new music. The music dropped, I think on Tidal first, and then eventually on all the other streaming services by the end of the game. So you didn't have to wait too long. But question for you, before we get into the music and everything, and yeah, get into the whole business side of the thing. Do you think that Verizon got the bang for their buck out of this? I heard that, okay, obviously we know that to run a 30-second spot on the Super Bowl it was $7 million this year. And then I think they paid her another $30 million on top of that. And yeah, Did Verizon get their bang for their buck?
That I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. I feel like there are probably additional things on the back end that we maybe are unaware to or
Yeah.
unaware of, because I think there's also some sort of partnership through, and I could be getting this wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me think about that a little bit more. Um, on paper, reading it off like that, it doesn't feel feel like it, because like
Yeah.
what are
'Cause
you gaining
Right. I
out
think
of putting out
everybody.
that much money?
Right. I think everybody up until the Spot launch was talking about Verizon. I kept talking, that everybody called it the Verizon commercial, the Verizon commercial, the Verizon commercial. Once the Spot aired and the music dropped, it was just the Beyonce
Beyonce.
country songs. You know, it was less about Verizon at that point. I think they kind of got left in the dust a little bit.
So what if it is still on the table? We don't know yet. The whole idea of a residency.
It could very
What
well
if that's
be.
soon to come and it is powered by Verizon,
Right. Or
and that's
yeah,
all
like
part of
Verizon.
a broader deal?
Right, Verizon customers get access to the pre-sale. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I'm just saying from what we know at the moment. I hope there's more. I hope there's more in store for Verizon. Um, but I think
Yeah,
that
that's
it's
true.
brilliant on Beyonce's part, right? Like, and I think that this is kind of gonna be the model that we see a lot more of, where brands are paying artists to say what they were going to say anyway. Like, she was going to release this music with or without Verizon, but you want to pay me $30 million to release what I was going to release anyway? Sure, I'll take your money.
And to do it on the biggest,
Mm-hmm.
where we got the biggest, most eyeballs on screens worldwide. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot less of manufactured moments by brands, and a lot more just like brands being used by these artists and celebs as a platform to share what they already were working on or had in motion.
That makes sense. I mean, or does it? Does it make sense for the brand, especially if you
I mean, they gotta. That's
when,
up to
when you're
them.
talking about like the Beyonce level, and
Right.
you got to come out $30 million in order to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's for them to decide. Whatever their budgets and goals and what their product is or service that they're pushing. But um,
Yeah, yeah, it is. But like you said, on Beyonce's part, it's like, give me $30 million. I get to release my music and promote it in this way, and I was going to do that anyway. And you fronting the bill with like the promotion and the spot and all that. Sign me up.
to be completely honest, I was surprised she was in the Spot to begin with. Like,
Really?
I didn't expect to see her actually in the Spot. I think it was gonna allude to her, or like maybe even make direct mention of her. But
Uh-huh.
I've just seen
Oh, I
so
can get
many.
that.
I've just seen so many like ads or worked with brands where like it could be it. Okay, because I can't say too much. It could be a product that is like developed with that person. But when it comes time to get them in the actual spot, that's a whole other business stream, whole other talks of money, whole other thing. And it's just like sometimes you don't get the athlete
Yeah.
or the artist or whatever, or to come
But
through
that's
your
probably where
event
that
to be
thirty
in the
million
spot.
dollars, that $30 million came into
Yeah.
play.
Right. But I'm just saying, this is somebody who, like, we haven't really seen her do anything outside of Parkwood produced stuff. And we'll get into this in a minute, but she doesn't do interviews anymore. She doesn't, so to see her in a commercial
hmm
for
It's very 2000 coded for her.
yeah, I was really shocked to actually see her in the spot. I thought we were going to see the lemonade stand and the crystal
But see, I think she knows,
Course.
at least for her fan base, what that does. Like the visibility and seeing her in the spot, it carries a bit more weight than if they were just referencing her and then being like, new music by Beyonce out now. It's like, oh yay, but It's a different element when you're actually seeing her and she's speaking to you.
Right, but that's always been the case, and that hasn't stopped her from not speaking.
But I think when you talk about a day that's the Super Bowl, there's a different weight that comes along with you actually speaking rather than just allowing the brand to make reference to you.
Yeah, I guess that's
I think
fair.
it's a
And I mean,
different
that's
consideration.
probably why she did it. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact I was still shocked to see, happy to see her. But I thought it was 50-50 whether we were going to see her or not in that capacity, like acting. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't just in there; she was in there acting in different scenes. Like that was a production. That was not just a Parkwood production. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she didn't orchestrate.
She had to clock in
herself.
and work
Exactly.
to make that happen. $30 million, I'll do it too. What do you think of the music? We got Texas Hold'em,
and
we got 16 Carriages.
I'm a country fan. I didn't know I was one until the Super Bowl, but no, I like them. Like, so I'm not a country fan. So here's the thing. I'm not a country fan. On its face, I think there are a couple of songs that I like, that I've liked previously, or for whatever reason they've crossed my radar, and I'm like, oh, that's a cute little bop, whatever. But I like what she's doing as far if she is reclaiming Black music, like she did with House for Act 1, Country Act 2, and what they're predicting Rock for Act 3. I've been singing Texas Hold'em to myself. I catch myself singing it. I like 16 Carriages too. So we'll see. I might.
I like them both. Yeah, I like them both. I don't consider myself a country music fan. Like, I don't have like, oh, this is my favorite country song or my favorite country album or this era of country. Like, I'm not an avid fan where I know country music in that way in detail. I have appreciated, like you said, if I hear a song that I'll be like, oh, I like this, add it to my playlist. And then, I have a couple of country artists that I do know, but I don't know their catalog like that.
Right.
But yeah, I have been listening to Texas Hold'em, and 16 Carriages. I love hearing Beyonce in different spaces just because I feel like she's able to go into different genres and execute well. I feel like there aren't tons of artists that are able to do that. That's one thing that I've always appreciated about Beyonce's artistry is how dynamic it is. So I'm excited to hear the full album. I'm glad she gave us 2 songs at one time, especially in a new space or a new genre for her. Like it's one that's more fun and up-tempo, and then it's one that's more storytelling and emotional. So it gives you 2 opposite ends of the spectrum as an introduction to say, like, this is what Act 2 is going to be about. So I appreciate that aspect from an artist standpoint too, kind of like teasing and saying, okay, this is what we about to do. This is what y'all in for. So yeah, if she goes back on tour, that's going to be insane and crazy. Not that that's unheard of from artists, but it's unheard of from Beyonce to do that like so fast.
Like, that's a lot of wear and tear on like your body, no?
Yeah, but I feel like these 3 acts, if she goes this hard and the timing is like this same timing, like from Renaissance to Act 2 and then from Act 2 to Act 3, and it's the same kind of like, I'm afraid of an R word happening.
Me too.
Or an evolution. But I mean, she's been giving us this for 25 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she'll completely go away, but as far as like being like, oh, I need to do this album or this is my next era and all that, I feel like we may not get that the same way. But an artist will always be an artist, so you never know. And I feel like I don't see Beyonce just being like, I'm not doing music anymore.
Yeah.
But
what are
we'll see. I'm excited though.
Yeah. Same. What are your hopes for Act 3? So everybody is like, it's either going to be she's doing this whole like reclaiming Black music, and like the 3rd act is going to be rock and roll. But some people think it might be R&B. What do you think? Or what do you
I think it's going to be rock. It's going to be rock. Just from that initial Vogue interview where she was teasing and saying it's a 3 act project, and she gave us like photos of disco, country, nod, and then like a rock. So looking into that, it feels like those are three distinct Easter eggs that we can go off of.
Yeah.
I would love for it to be R&B just because I'm an R&B head, but I feel like it's going to be rock, and I hope that she turns me into a rock fan if that's the case, where I'm like, I ain't never really liked rock. But also historically, I feel like Beyonce's rock inspired songs have not been my favorite.
Okay. I can only think of rock inspired songs on like Lemonade, right?
Yeah, like 6 Inch Heels.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, she got a couple out there.
Yeah.
But like I said,
see.
Beyonce, she has a way of being able to go into a genre and be like, look, see, you didn't even know that this is possible. So I also hope that she brings along some people that have been in the space, and she kind of like highlights and elevates them, whether it's from a songwriting standpoint, a feature standpoint, opening act standpoint, something.
Yeah.
Especially if she's talking about reclaiming these genres. I think she did that well within Renaissance, especially bringing like different houses and people of the culture, a ballroom culture, and bringing them to the forefront.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole queer spaces. So I hope there's some more of that that's done as well.
Yeah, and I think there's already kind of like signs of that. Number one, that's just kind of how she operates. And then I think she worked with like a black, like a very prominent black. What instrument is that? Is it still a violin if it's country, or is it a fiddle? What do they call that thing? Does it automatic? Yeah, maybe banjo. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, what they call that thing over when it's country? It was like a famous like or a prominent black
Viola.
No, I think it was banjo. I think you were right.
I think she played the banjo and the viola.
Okay. Well, yeah. So there's already signs of her bringing in
Rhiannon Giddens.
Yeah, bringing in people who are.
She played both.
Yeah, who are important in that space. So shout out to the new music. Are you going to learn any line dances?
I sure am. I'm going to get me some boots and get me my. Okay, now one thing I was talking to one of my friends earlier this weekend. He was saying, okay, now like Beyonce, we get it, but I don't need to see a cowboy hat on every single look. Like, we get it, and I think you can still deliver.
Yeah. Also, did she not like kind of because she had the cowboy hat during the first act too, and it's just like, well, dang girl, like if you knew Act 2 was coming, you could have saved the cowboy hat, and we could have had something else on. But I mean, I guess it's efficient. It's people already kind of have their silver cowboy hats.
She's been giving you the cowboy hats from before. Even in Act 1, the whole chrome cowboy hat.
But yeah, that cowboy hat and that bolo tie, she gonna have both of them on together to let you know this is
give
country.
You the cowboy hat and bolo tie to let you know, baby, this is country. I am in my country era. So in case y'all forget, this is to let you know. This is a statement.
Yeah. Well, staying on Beyonce, but shifting gears a little bit past the Super Bowl, she and her mother finally released the hair care line, Sacred. Did you see that?
I did see Sacred has been launched. It's available, I think, starting tomorrow.
Okay.
At the time of this recording. I did see it, and I appreciate how much backstory around the inspiration that we are getting. Because I feel like without that, it would have been a hard selling for a lot of folks. And it still is, if you have your ear to the streets. But my POV is, and I think maybe you have to be a Beyonce fan to know these things. Beyonce has hair. She has healthy hair.
She does.
She has edges. She has volume. She has all the things. But what I want to say is like people be like, she don't even wear her hair, so how's she putting out a hair care line and things of that sort. Um, but then also like Tina, Mama Tina, that was that her doing hair and her attachment to hair and like that whole aspect of their lives is how they funded their lives for a period of time when
Yeah.
Matthew quit his job and
You
that's
know the
what
whole
was
history. All right, take us back.
it
Take
is
us
it
back
is
to
they talked
Third
about it.
Ward, Houston.
Okay, let me be your tour guide. But it goes to show like, and then Beyonce talked about like when she was a younger girl, what would she say? Her dad would oil her scalp sometimes, and even now she still takes time for these self-care rituals and makes spaces for them, and she makes sure she does something to her hair every night. Um, so it shows that she does have investment in like skin in the game when it comes to her hair. Now, where we lack as like the consumer base is outside of these stories. When you go into a spread in essence, we don't really know these things. And I think that's where like some of the disconnect may be coming from. But this is an opportunity for us to get an inside look
Yeah.
into
Wait,
those things.
are you saying that we don't know that going into the Essence interview? Did you read the? I haven't finished reading the article, but does she not address that stuff in the article?
She does. I'm saying
Oh.
prior to going into the article, you
got
wouldn't
you.
know.
Got you.
But yeah, it seems exciting. It seems like she was really, I mean, it's very on brand for Beyonce, but it seemed like she was really invested in crafting and taking like the history of Black women taking care of their hair and the things that worked, and then tying it to research and science and adapting it to innovation.
Yeah. And I would say,
What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it makes sense for her and her mother, more specifically, to venture down this path. I will still say, like, Black hair care is a very saturated market.
Mhm.
And we talked about this before, like the celebrity backed hair care lines, like kind
It's
of,
hair care and skin care.
yeah, they're kind of hit or miss, right? Um, so we'll see. I love the branding. I love the packaging. There were a couple products. I think there was like a hair oil. I'm like, okay, I might give that a try. We'll see. But I think what really pushed me to, at first I was just like, I'm not buying this. Like, I just don't need it. But once I saw the Essence cover, I was more excited about the product. And that's just because number one, like, she did an interview. She did an interview with Essence. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, an Essence, like with the E, like the black one, not the boutique up in Canada.
Right.
She and then the imagery was just, they killed that shit. Like, Shiona on beautiful. Styling, Andre Wagner with the camera. It was chef's kiss, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautifully shot. I like them. It's so on brand for Beyonce to include her mother and her daughters.
You think those are her daughters in that in that picture? You think that was Blue and Rumi in that picture?
I took it at face value. I didn't be like, is that them? And zoom in and do a whole calculation. Maybe it wasn't. I looked at the photo one time.
Well, it's supposed to represent them. So, well.
You don't think it was them?
I don't think so, but I don't think it matters.
Wait, where are you? See, here's the hot take.
Is it really a hot take? If it were them, I think they would have showed their face.
But why would they not use them?
Because they weren't there. I don't think that's them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe it wasn't. You're right. That makes sense. Like, why wouldn't they show their face if it was them? And now that I'm looking at it, we don't know when this was taken, but if that's blue, it looks like it's older. But I don't know. Janelle, why am I thinking about this? Like,
It was
I
just
think
a
it's
question.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't
them.
say it
If
was
they want us
anything
to
wrong
believe
with it.
It's them.
Okay. I'm sorry that I like just asked the
God.
question. But no,
Yes,
but
it's
even
good.
that shot, I love that shot. I think my favorite, I don't know, it's really hard because I like the one with her and her mom, like with the braid draped over her mom's arm. But I think my favorite of the bunch is her with like in the blue with the shades and the hair like being blown upward.
Yeah.
That's fire.
I also like Mama Tina's portrait a lot too.
Yeah.
And I like the one with Beyonce on the ground when she's laying on the blue carpet and she's like taking up the full frame. That's probably my fave.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're talking about.
But yeah, shout out to Queen Mother B. We live. And she's been outside.
She has been.
But yeah.
Cool. I think the last...
Do you want to talk about your favorite person?
Don't do that. Don't do that. That is not my favorite person. By a long shot. But I thought that just because it was getting a lot of buzz on social, it made sense to talk about. But apparently Kanye had a Super Bowl ad. I didn't see it. It didn't air where I live. But apparently...
I didn't see it either.
Yeah. And
I saw it after the fact because I had to look it up, but I didn't see it air.
Basically, the only reason I even knew this happened was because there was a graphic going around that showed how much he sold off of the Super Bowl ad. So I guess the whole thing was like, he paid $7 million for a Super Bowl spot, or however much it costs to run a regional spot. And then it's just him talking direct to camera, selling product for $20 a pop, and he made a whole bunch of revenue off of that.
Yeah, I saw that. I did buy some pods.
You did?
With the intent. Yes, I did.
Oh,
because
who's fan now? Okay, all right.
No.
They were
$20. They were $20
okay.
each. I bought 5 pair, and I'm gonna hold on to them and resell them.
Okay.
Listen,
okay.
if they're still available, I would advise you to do the same because
sounds
they're
like
gonna
a
be
fan
like,
to me.
I'm not wearing them. I'm doing this to profit. Now, while this may profit Kanye in some little small, minute way,
Just a little bit.
They're $20. I'm sure that is not adding to his portfolio.
I don't know. Let that graphics show that graphics showed a lot of y'all.
Well, you're
caught
right.
5 pair to just
a couple of
benefit
us
him
had
just
that
a little
mindset-
bit.
Well, don't say anything when I'm selling those 20 pairs.
You
for
shouldn't have told me
$400
that,
in a
Ron.
couple
See, that's
months.
hilarious. No, you're right. You're right. You know, I'll be outside your door like, can I just get a little crumb?
But yeah, apparently he didn't spend any money on recording or the spot. Mm-hmm. Like he recorded it into his iPhone saying like, go to this website and I got clothes, I got shoes, buy it.
Yeah.
And that's what aired. But he spent, what did he say, $7 million, something like that to air the spot.
Right.
So it's like, did that pay off? Obviously for him it did.
Yeah. Good for him.
Now, I think that was genius for him to have the forethought or take the risk to be like, I'm not doing some huge spot and I want this to air during the Super Bowl. Like, I'm gonna get more traction than I would if I just posted this to my social media.
But would he though? Well, maybe. I know.
Yeah.
Maybe today. Kanye West today? Yes, probably. If this were before the shenanigans, I don't know that he necessarily needed the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, whatever. It is what it is. Moving right along. All-Star Weekend. We just came off of All-Star Weekend. It was in Indianapolis. It looked cold as shit. And
who wants to do that?
right. I watched the 3-point contest between Steph and Sabrina. Steph Curry won. Cool. I saw the dunk contest. Very lackluster. What's homeboy's name that plays for the Celtics? Jalen. Which one is he? Jalen.
I don't know.
There are a lot of Jalens.
All I know is
in the
my
league.
nephew sent me Mac McClung's dunks and said they were really good.
No, well, what is his name? Hold on one second.
I think he won.
Jaylen Brown, right? Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. He,
I knew that.
yeah,
I really did know that.
I did too, but I was just like, I for some reason, like Hurts kept coming to mind, and I'm like, there's just so many Jalen's. Like, god damn, pick a new name. But I saw him attempt a dunk where he had Kai Cenat, who is 5'0", come onto the court and sit down in a chair, and he jumped over him and still missed the dunk. And I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, this is not fun, and this doesn't show you in a positive light. But that's not the real reason why I wanted to talk about All-Star Weekend. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because I watched the All-Star game last night. Shout out to the East, even though nobody was clearly playing defense. The East scored like 210 points or something crazy like that.
Right, that's how they go.
But the halftime show, why did they have Jennifer Hudson perform the halftime show for NBA All-Star? It made no sense. At first, I was just like, did I switch over to like the Soul Train Awards? What happened? And then my group chat was just like, why did Jennifer Hudson?
What did she sing?
She sang a song that was not Spotlight. That was not Spotlight. Some new song that I didn't. It was, Bronzy, I was fuming. Because I'm like, yo, the NBA has no strategy. That's what it comes down to. I'm like, at least the NFL, whether I like the strategy or not, they're like, we on this Taylor Swift train. We're going to ride the Taylor Swift train.
Right.
The NBA needs to find them a Taylor Swift-esque strategy. I'm not saying Taylor. I'm not saying, like, please don't go that route.
Don't be surprised when she in the NBA next year.
But god damn, I was just like, who? And then I started thinking, I'm like, the person who booked the person who presented her and booked her, and like the people who are in charge of programming, they get paid a lot of money.
Right.
And in my last role in experiential, if I said, hey, we got to do an event at All-Star, you know who we need there? Jennifer Hudson, I would have been fired.
You would have had a steep uphill battle to sell that in.
I would have been fired. They wouldn't have been a steep uphill battle. It would have been like, girl, today's your last day. That was nuts.
I did not know that, and that is crazy. That's literally wild.
But shout out to Jennifer Hudson, though.
I have no words. There's so many other names you could have called.
Right. Because I'm like, okay, she got paid, I guess, and like, I guess she had to, take it. But that made absolutely no sense. And you know how they have the people that come out on the court and, they got to like act like they're into it. Them white people were like, what's going on? Who is this?
Hey. I'm not. I was gonna say I'm gonna watch it, but I'm okay not to.
Yeah, don't do that.
What did she sing? I'm telling you in the middle of the halftime show.
Yeah, I can't even tell you the name of the song. At first, I was just like, was that a medley of a couple songs or one long ass song? I think it was just one long ass song. I had never heard that song before in my life. But
wow.
Last thing on our list for Above the Fold. And we're a little late on this one, but have you seen Via Ray's social content? Via Ray being Issa Rae's Prosecco brand.
Yes. Well, what I've seen, the only thing that I've seen, which has been retweeted a billion times, is Victoria Monet's husband, or partner, Baby Zaddy, as the bartender.
Shirtless.
Is there more than that?
Yeah, she's done that with a couple of other people. Nobody, I think, of note, of like famous or anything. But it seems to be their cocktail strategy, right? That's what they call it in the business.
Okay.
And how they're presenting the different cocktails that you can make with this prosecco is by having these shirtless men craft the cocktail for you to replicate, at home. Um, Great strategy. I wish she had more. I'm like, I'm starting to think like, okay, well, who else can you bring in? Because the last two ones, I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Maybe there's somebody's cup of tea. But I'm like, yo, get Daniel from Insecure, or Lawrence from Insecure, or Nathan from Insecure. You get where I'm headed here?
Just go to Insecure and pull
all the men
people,
from
make
Insecure. Yeah, but I thought that was smart, especially the first one. The first one to drop with Victoria Monet's partner. I was just like, oh, I see what y'all doing here. That was cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen any other ones except that one, but I think I like the strategy. It makes sense. It feels like it's on brand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Why is that not on brand?
Did you also see that she has announced that she secured investors for a studio in LA?
I did not see that, but I am very excited. Especially given.
She said, "When I tell you we're ready, we're ready."
Okay, we ready.
In the recent cancellations of like all those shows
Exactly.
that we were talking about the other week, I think she's looking to like take some more ownership in like the process, and I think this is a start in that direction. So it's going to be in South LA, and it's going to be known as, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what we know so far. So let's keep an eye out for this. This is very exciting for her.
Yep.
She just keeps like going and going and going, and I
love that for her. Love that for her.
Cool. Are you ready for Guess That Spokesperson?
Yeah. Whose turn is it?
It's my turn
Your turn to what?
to give you clues.
Oh, really? Oh, damn. Okay, I'll save this for the next time then. Okay.
Is it my turn?
Maybe. I don't know.
Now you got me second guessing. All right, yes, my turn to get the clues. All right. So the brand is David Yurman.
Okay.
You already know, don't you?
No, I don't. I can't remember the last time I saw a David Yurman ad. Now that I think about it, and I love that brand. So, but go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you these clues. Are gonna be cool. Got you. We've talked about this individual on the last episode.
Okay.
I'm almost 1,000% certain that they've been a Guess That Spokesperson before. This person is a new investor in the Formula One team Alpine, and is the creator and co-founder of the Invesco QQQ Legacy Classic sports game.
What? The Invesco? Say that one more time.
Legacy Invesco QQQ Legacy Classic.
What is that? Is that a sports league?
That is a game. It is a game or a series of basketball, collegiate basketball for HBCUs.
Give me that first hint one more time.
We talked about this person on the last episode.
Okay, sorry. Give me what was the second hint?
New investor of Formula One team Alpine.
Okay. Is this person and that game, that HBCU game, is it played in New Jersey?
It has been played in New Jersey.
Is this person from New Jersey?
Yes.
Last question. Does this person drink sea moss?
I cannot confirm or deny, but I would assume.
You would assume based on our conversation last week. Okay, I'm going to
Yes.
guess it is Michael B. Jordan.
Great
Thank
job.
you. Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you.
Awesome job. What gave it away? The
The
HBCU game, didn't it?
HBCU game.
Yeah, it's like there's no way. I mean, they're gonna have to be easy in some way. Because if
Yeah.
I give you just a whole bunch of random, it'd be like,
No, you're right. We said we were gonna reassess the
Yeah.
rules, revamp
Yeah.
this one. So we can talk about that at a later date.
cool. Well, who do you have for going with your black ads? And that ain't it.
Okay, so going with your black ass is gonna have to go to Beyonce for all the things. You know, anytime Beyonce's on the list, we're biased. I don't care. I'm biased.
I don't care. Consciously biased.
Yes, that ain't it. I gotta give it to whoever booked Jennifer Hudson for All Star Weekend. Sorry, because what?
Okay, yeah, same. Going with your black ads is absolutely going to the one and the only, the illustrious.
Yeah.
Beyonce
Well, you know what?
Giselle Knowles
You know what?
Carter.
You know what? I have to. I think it. Would be, it kind of has to be a shared going with your black ass because Usher has kind of ruled the last however many months too. I feel like not saying his name in like going with your black ass just feels wrong just because Beyonce did something too. You know, can we just give them both going with your black ass? Because Usher,
But Beyonce had the ad.
but Usher was the halftime
Sure.
performer.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Yes, Usher and Beyonce.
Yes.
They share the title.
They
this
share
week.
the title.
I don't have a that ain't it. So I'm just gonna piggyback on your J Hud
Trust me.
booking.
Trust me, it wasn't it.
Yeah. Well. Well.
Wow.
Next question. All right, y'all. So that wraps this episode of With Your Black Ads. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube. And share this podcast with your friends. Also, check us out at withyourblackads.com. And until next time, we'll see y'all.
Bye.
Peace.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. God damn. That's what I'm talking about. It was so black ass. It was black ass.